Right. I'm ready. I'm gonna crack my fingers, yeah? Let's get rid of this piece of shit. Who designed this? Right. Command pod. Bam.
Still got one on the screen there as well, just be a little bit wary of that.
Okay, good point. I've never tried adding multiple command pods, but I presume you can. Ooh, I found that you could do this the other day as well. How cool is that?
Shit, you're a wizard.
Yeah, WES&D, baby. Okay, liquid fuel tank, 1. There we go. I want just a little one on there. So I'm going for the same basic lander design as we had before.
Fuck me, Telworth went very quiet here, so there's a lot of concentration going on.
There is a lot of concentration, right? That's me lander. Oh, I'm missing something on there. Yes. There we go. That's the lander. Stick a decoupler underneath that. We're in business. That's for stage 2 burn. Stick a rocket on that.
Now, are you sure this makes sense? Because it just seems to me like surely the heaviest parts are going to be a full fuel tank, but also an engine. So surely the more engines will carry up that aren't burning.
Well, what's the engines weigh 1.25, the fuel tanks weigh 2.25.
That's not too bad, actually. For some reason, I just had it in my head an engine would weigh way more, to be honest.
I just want to keep shooting shit out as we go up. So I'm going to try this as a design. And then I want the decouplers on the side. Do you know what? I'm going to use 4. I'm going to follow your example. I'm going to use 4.
I thought you just proved on that last launch, so that's a really bad idea and it doesn't get you anywhere. Apart from it gets you somewhere faster, but it doesn't get you anywhere near as much.
I could do 3.
3, that's good. We know, well, 2's alright, 4's a bit shit. We'll try 3, maybe that'll just be generally mediocre. Might turn out alright.
Way aye. Right, where is it? There we go. Solid fuel booster. Get that on there. Everyone's happy. Right, I want the solid fuel and I want the bottom stage engine to fire at the same time. I'll keep them 2 separately just in case the solid fuel runs out before the liquid fuel. But I want the second engine to burn as soon as the first engine's thrown away. Third engine, hopefully I'm hoping we're not going to need the third engine to get into orbit. But I'll have it lined up ready just in case to fire as soon as that
I think this is going to
off.
be wobbly as a donkey's cock when it's sitting on the old launch pad there.
I'll make sure I fire it pretty much straight away. And you know what? I'll stick some nipples on it.
Get some nipples on. What about wings? Since you determined that mine needed wings, I think it's only fair that you've got some wings on.
I think it was the wings that made it all go wrong.
Right. So, wings on my Gonzo as an Ass Mark 1.
Apologies for my typing here, I'm using a miniaturized keyboard. Ewok loves the ass Mark 1. You see, I'm not afraid to be self-deprecating, and I do love the ass.
I think it's probably worth pointing out that we're both heterosexual men, both engaged, both quite happily settled down in our own lives, because it's got a bit of a... Actually, I can't say what I was going to say, because that's probably a little bit libelous, but I was going to say it's going to come across like we're kind of a slightly homoerotic Geordie couple. And, you know, I don't want to kind of give that impression the slightest, although maybe leech from some of their success would be quite good.
You never know, it could get full.
There's a lot of Geordie double acts sort of quite famous, and they always come across to me as slightly homoerotic, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's wishful thinking on my part, maybe I'm repressing some deep feelings. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, there's a few that I'm thinking of kind of sort of in history and kind of on TV and what have you at the minute, sort of quite popular in Britain. Always comes across as a little bit homoerotic. Not that that's obviously a bad thing, I'm just saying.
Just keep digging that hole.
Just
that's
saying,
all good.
Just saying it's the way it comes across. I mean, anybody's choices are their own. You know me, I'm a very, very tolerant man of everything except intolerance.
And the French.
I love the French.
I love the French too. I've got a little bit of French blood in me, apparently.
Interesting fact about the French. Did you know in France there's over 300 varieties of regional cheeses?
That's fascinating.
Do you know what's even more fascinating?
I'll
tell you something, Ewok. In Britain, we have nearly 700 varieties of cheeses. So who's actually the cheese nation? I think you'll find the Britain. Not to try and, you know, feed in any kind of jingoism here. You know, I'm a very big fan of Europe. But I think it's worth pointing out, as I did to a good old mate of mine's French girlfriend, that there's more varieties of cheeses in Britain. Our response was, but they're all fucking cheddar. But, you know, she might be right on that one. I can't really argue, but we do have more variety of cheeses.
I'm not sure anyone's ever argued that the French have more cheeses than us. I know they're famed for their wine.
I think that the stereotype in terms of the French stereotype is usually along the lines of things like wine and cheeses and what have you and all the rest of it, you know, that kind of negative stereotype. But they're a large consumer of cheese. I believe the average French person eats more cheese than the average English person per head or per capita, whatever.
Not to play into stereotype.
Not to play in, I'm just saying in terms of, you know, national statistics, I believe that as a nation there's a lot of cheeses consumed in France, as there is in Britain, but I believe more in France.
However, nobody beats the Germans when it comes to sausage.
See, now, I've been kind of skirting around the issue quite sensitively, and you've just gone through something like that in, and effectively you're playing to very negative stereotypes there, and I don't think that's particularly appropriate.
It's not negative at all, I love German sausage. Right, we've got half a tank of fuel here, so I'm just gonna where's that around, see how much it's gonna take of a burn to get us in orbit. I don't think we'll get much further than orbit. Then again, orbit's the most difficult
This has
bit.
probably been the most successful we've done, and we've spent the entire time talking about cheese and sausage instead of actually commenting on what's happening.
Right, so I've set a manoeuvre node that's going to get us into an orbit of 88,000. I don't want 88,000. 69. No, I don't want that. So that's going to be 71. That's going to be 86.
That's close enough, surely.
Yeah, that'll do.
Well, we've been video bombed. Steam alerts.
Right, so it's going to take 1 minute and 18 seconds worth of burn. Oh, which means I have to go now. Yeah, it's best to try and wrap it round the T-minus point. So if you've got 60 seconds, you want to start burning when it's 30 seconds to the actual time, rather than try and start on 0, otherwise you're going to end up well out. The blue dot that I'm pointing towards on the nav ball here is the navigation node, so that's the direction you need to burn in when it comes up.
I think more importantly what we should talk about is somebody on your Steam friends list is currently playing Nether. Why somebody would want to do that, I'm not 100% sure myself personally.
I don't know, there's a few of the lads that I know have been raving about Nether, saying how awesome it is. I've seen the trailer for it, I didn't really think much of it. But I don't really know much about it. What do you know about it?
Well, I think there's a lot of controversy surrounding it, and I think we've got to be careful what we say about it as well, because I'm not sure to what extent things are known or exactly what's going on, because I kind of stopped following it not long after I first heard about it. But you know, from some of the other videos that I've seen and some of the little bits of research and sort of flirtation that I've had with it, it looks a lot like kind of what was War Z and I believe is now Infestation Survivor Stories. Looks very, very similar to it, has very similar kind of mechanics going on there. Mind, it's been a good couple of months, I think, since I checked it out. Maybe things are very different now, maybe there's been a lot of patches and updates, but, you know, I was one of the guys that got into War Z back in about 2011, maybe? I can't remember exactly when it came out, and, you know, there was a huge shitstorm kind of developed around that as well. So, personally, I've kind of treated Nether with kid gloves, even though it might have nothing to do with it whatsoever. I can't help but have suspicions, and I think, you know, generally erring on the side of caution, I've just kind of kept well away from it, really.
Well, like I say, some of the lads I know are into it quite a bit, so they seem to enjoy it. I'm not sure. I mean, I've seen the trailer. I didn't really get much of survival stories-esque stuff out of it. Just to comment on the game, by the way, I pulled out way early there, and we're going to hit the atmosphere at 64,000 meters. Because we were rapidly running out of fuel.
I can make some great wicked puns about pulling out early there, but I think I'll kind of hold it back for the purposes of taste and decency.
We've used the Catholic method of space exploration.
So now we've offended French, Germans, Catholics. I think we made a jibe that could be construed as offensive towards lesbian couples, I believe, in one of the Zomboid videos. Basically, we're not going to get anywhere with these friggin' videos. We've just like launched a channel, put some videos up, and then basically it's just going to be like, no, ridiculous, get them down, offensive, horrific.
I think it's just you reading too much into it. There was nothing anti-lesbian about the term munchers when referring to zombies. You just read these connotations in that aren't there.
Well, if there wasn't a connotation before, there definitely is now. It's quite interesting on the forums. A lot of people have started using that term to to refer to some of the zombies as well, which I think is quite good. I think we've kind of taken root there as well. You know, just from a few of my comments across there on the forums.
Well, depressing as it is, I think I'm going to have to land this bitch. But we got a lot closer that time, I think. So we need to think of how we can improve this particular rocket design. And then I think...
Are you actually going to come back down to Earth this time then? Or are you just going to circle forever?
No, I'm coming back down to Earth. I've just fired retrograde to bring the orbit down. I mean, didn't have enough thrust. As you can see there, what I got between 5 and 10 seconds worth of thrust at the most. That ain't gonna help. So let's just bring... Who are we? Jebediah again. He gets to go on all the missions. We keep forgetting to switch him out.
Send one of the
We'll send one of the new guys out in the next one. Was it Jebediah who did the first successful land in landing spot 1? I believe it was.
It was Jebediah.
Yeah.
Cartwheeling through the air. It feels like so long ago now, but it was probably only about 45 minutes.
I have no idea.
No idea how long we've been playing. Should kind of point out as well that you know, we're not really ones for editing, and we're not ones for doing particularly short videos, because I don't know, I mean, it seems like a lot of work to have to like cut things out in the way that we record sound as well. You know, we'll record sound separately so it can kind of play around with the levels a bit, and it just seems that you're going to end up with a lot of work to do to try and cut it down into reasonable length videos. So unfortunately, you know, we're going to be recording kind of feature lengths for most of the time until we work out what we're kind of doing, I suppose.
No, I think we're always going to be recording feature length. I like the idea of pure no editing, just going, no dicking around. If it comes out shit, it comes out shit. If it comes out good, it comes out good. But you know what you're getting.
It adds a good little bit of anticipation, because then, you know, if we've got a few people watching, it might be, I wonder if they've done a good video this week, and then they'll be bitterly disappointed and tune out again. I wonder if they've worked out what they're doing yet. No, unfortunately not. Try again.
Yeah, but there's plenty of videos out there of people who know exactly what they're doing and do it well. I think it's quite refreshing to see an incompetent like me at the helm of a spacecraft. Oh, we're coming into a lovely mountainous region here.
That's not a good thing. You're just going to tip over. I can almost guarantee it.
It would be good if it wasn't for the fact that...
There's a crater there.
No, it would be good if it wasn't for the fact that I'd fired off both the goo canisters when we were in orbit.
Bollocks. Well, you can get soil samples and have a look round, I suppose. Careful with your time warping.
I am careful. Oh yeah, good point, because that's sea level, not actual
have you
land
cranked
level.
them? Oh, well, I suppose they're open now, aren't they? So we're doing okay.
It's very difficult to judge how far you are from the actual ground. I mean, it looks like we are a long way, but the parachutes were set to deploy at 500 meters, so we can't really be that far up.
When you see your shadow rushing very violently towards you, that would kind of make sense.
You've done the French, you've done the Germans, now you're doing the Russians.
I don't get that. Oh, I see. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's been a long day. I'm still recovering from my cold.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm glad you got there in the end. I'm glad I could help you get there. It seems to be
look at this perfect fucking landing site. Over it goes.
It's fine. Look, there's not a scratch on it. Right, let's do a crew report. We'll overwrite the existing one because I got no data from it. And we'll get out. I wonder if there's a keyboard shortcut for the EVA suit. There must be. There's probably a keyboard shortcut for all this. Right, 9 science.
So whereabouts was this bio? The Kerbal Highlands, apparently. You know, if we're being clever, would be reading out these captions and
we're halfway around the bloody globe
being sensible.
Shall I plant a flag or? Nah.
No, I think we should, just so we can keep track on whereabouts we've been. I think, you know, if you survive, really, the flag is more just kind of saying I survived. Although technically, I mean, I'm not sure if there's different nation states on the planet Kerbal, but surely this would kind of count as an invasion. If you shoot a rocket up, it kind of flies around the place and comes down in somebody's country randomly. Like, I don't know.
Newcastle. I claim this land in the name of Geordie kind.
Meant. There we go.
There we go. Our new nation begins today. Let's see if I can get it back in there so I can recover the whole thing at once. No, guess not. Right, we'll bring him home. It seems a bit of a hassle to go all the way to get him, bring him back, all the way out again.
So how
Just to go
we doing?
get the
How we
craft.
doing for time then, Ewok? Anyway,
I say we do one more. Well, hang on, we didn't... Oh, no, I'm getting confused. That's the flag there. New Newcastle.
so we want to
Southern
recover that.
Kerbal
Yeah,
on year 1, day 1. It's still only day 1, you see. We're doing pretty
been
well.
busy.
Okay, I'm going to recover that.
Look at that.
We've got loads of science, actually. Let's spend some, because we may find something that's useful. Hopefully, we can invest in some better propulsion so we can get some bigger solid rockets.
Yeah, I think we've
So
got
we're still
the,
using
we've got
quite
that.
weedy ones at the moment. Yeah, that gives a big ass 315 thrust solid fuel buster. We'll have that.
And it's got a nicer little engine. I think that engine doesn't that have like gimbaling or something, so it means you can like have a bit more control over the way your rocket's pointing. I think.
I've no idea. Who cares about control? Right, what do we need? We've got some more. And we can get one more. We've got this one, so we can send. If you get this, you get the electronic command module, so you can send unmanned missions to space without risk at Kerbal.
Well, we don't need
Life
that,
and limb.
obviously.
Yeah, that's definitely not needed.
Jesus, why would you need one of them when you've got loads of Kerbals lining up?
We could get the next science tech. That'll give us the ability to do a bit more research. We won't do that right now, though, because I'm confident about this one getting to where we need it to be, so I don't want to weigh it down with any unnecessary science shit. In fact, I'm going to get rid of the goo as well.
So what?
Right, I'm getting rid of them.
So why are we getting rid of the goo then? What's the thought process behind that?
Because I'm confident that we're going to get to the moon on this one and complete our objective.
So hang on, so we're going to get to the moon and then just go, oh, well, we've been here. We're not going to even try and do a little bit of science on the moon, have a look at the goo?
Absolutely not.
I
Why
thought-
on earth would we want to do that?
I thought the whole purpose of the game was to see whereabouts you could get your goo. I thought that was exactly what we're trying to do here. Whereabouts in the solar system can I get my goo?
I don't want to say anything. Thoughts of you spilling your goo throughout the cosmos are somewhat unsavoury.
If you find any little alien types that look a little bit like Gonzo, well, that'll give you your answer.
You know what? I'm tempted to think that these extra solid fuel drives will be enough. My only concern is that they're gonna. Right, I'm gonna stick an extra liquid fuel on there. Otherwise, I think the solid fuel would burn out long before the liquid fuel, and we'd just be pulling all that dead weight around. If I can squeeze it in there, it's not making it easy. Take them off for a second.
I think this is going to be shaky as fuck.
Really?
Yeah.
On what grounds?
Just think it will. I think it's getting quite tall. We don't have any kind of little structure-y bits to like pin things together. I think it's just going to be a wobbly mess.
Well, fair enough. But I think the Ewok loves the ass Mark II.
Mark comma.
Mark comma. The
speech
Ewok loves the
mark.
ass Mark.
You've done it again.
Yeah, no, I did it on purpose that time. I liked it. Ewok loves the ass Mark quotation mark. Mark quotation mark.
There we go.
Interesting. Yeah, this one is going to be the one. It may be a bit wobbly, I'll give you that, but it'll get there.
Right, let's see what the little green thing on the nav board does. Yep, there we go.
See,
That's
it's
everything you need to
stable
know.
as hell.
Little green lights on. Cheers up. Jesus.
I hope I did this right, because it's actually look to make sure all this shit was... It's going up very slowly, isn't it?
Worry about that when we get to it. Yeah, I get the impression these things weigh like quite a bit.
Yeah, it's fine. They do, but the fuel's going down a lot slower than before. See, this is the problem. This is where I always fall into a roadblock with this game, in that every time I fail, I just want to add more and more rockets, and it's not the job. It's the fundamental design of my rockets that's the flaw, not the lack of fuel or thrust.
So it's not the keyboard's fault or the keyboard operating hands. It's just the brain power in the head shed here trying to get stuff going.
Well, I don't know. We haven't gone up very far, but the amount of thrust we've got...
Tip you over 10,000. Look.
Oh yeah, I was just waiting to get rid of the solid fuel before I did that. I think this is looking pretty damn sexy, actually. Oh no. Okay, it's very hard to stop tipping once you start tipping.
Did we get the better engine with a gimbal and thing?
the gimbal thing.
The gimbal, so we can the gimbal, and my understanding is from watching people who know what they're talking about, it means that you can kind of control the way the thrust comes out the engine, and that gives you a little bit extra control over your rocket when it's in flight.
I have no idea if we have the thing with the thing in the bit, but we are looking pretty good because we are going to get into space with some of this fuel tank left.
So that'll give her an orbit and potentially a transfer then.
Potentially. Let's get to 75. Okay, we've only got a tiny bit left, so I'm not sure. However, it is definitely the best so far. Right, how long till the apoapsis? I need to wait for the apoapsis to vaguely stabilise before I start putting things like navigation points on. It's coming down quite slowly, so...
Now, is it on a little bit of a wonk, or is that just me?
Yeah, we're on a tiny bit of a wonk, a tiny bit lower than what we should be, probably due to the instability of the initial takeoff. Actually, a manoeuvre node's going to be no use, because the manoeuvre node's going to take into account the current engine that we're using in terms of the amount of thrust it says we need to do. And given that I'm going to be shooting this engine off pretty quickly, that's not really going to be that handy. In fact, we'll probably end up just overshooting and flying off into the sunset. Or undershooting. No, we'd undershoot and we'd crash straight into the planet.
Well, that's the music. We're in space. That's a good thing. That's always a bonus.
We are 30 seconds from apoapsis, so I'm going to start the burn now.
Alright, you could use a little nodey thing now, I suppose.
It's a bit late in the day, really.
It's this little crappy engine we've got bolted onto the bottom.
Oh, it's true, but you can't really land with anything else. Obviously, we need a bit more poke to get us to this stage. This is premature, really. This should be the landing device. It shouldn't be what we're using to get us into orbit. So there is an inherent problem with the design of the Roslov's ass mark quotation mark.
You know, people that know what they're doing make this look so easy. Every time I watch somebody who knows what they're doing and, you know, loads up a video, I think, yeah, I'm going to jump back into the game, I understand what I'm doing now, and then shit like this happens.
You end up here again.
Yeah.
Desperately trying to get into orbit.
At least we're failing together rather than just like I'm sitting at home and swearing at the monitor by myself. I mean, gets your reputation.
I mean, I've started my burn too late again, because I'm way past the apoapsis. However, we are gradually getting there. We're going to have a bit of fuel left, I think. Really should have been timing how long this burn's taken, so I can get an idea of how much fuel we get per portion of the tank. I mean, it seems to have been going on for quite some time. Okay, we should be in orbit in a matter of seconds.
Fuck me, it's kind of boring though, these gaps in between. I wish we had some way of kind of speeding things up a little bit.
I'm gonna wait till that hits about 70. Ooh, shit. Sorry, I panicked there. Well, you know what? Straight for the moon. Straight for the moon.
Where is it?
Okay, I am gonna need to get the orbit up a bit, otherwise it'll be a crash. I reckon we'll be alright at 67. It's a bit low, but hopefully the momentum will carry through.
Man, I'm glad that this video's coming to an end soon as well. I really should have stopped to take a piss before we started recording as well. I've been sitting here dancing around on one leg for quite some time.
Well, I reckon the moon's going to be about there, so if I aim my manoeuvre node here...
The music stopped. That's never a good sign.
Yeah, we're probably back in the atmosphere. You see, my aim's pretty good when it comes to actually...
I'm well impressed. I usually just kind of guess and then start moving the manoeuvre node around a little bit until I get
So that's going to move us within 1.5 million meters of the moon. What I like to try and do is just shoot directly into it.
It's even further away though, isn't it?
No, that's going to smash us straight into it.
Oh, well, there we go. Job done.
With a 59-second burn. There's no coming back from this.
There's no coming back from anything. It's Jebediah as well, though.
He'll die a hero.
We've got legs. You know. Yeah, I think
this is the perfect way to end the video. I mean, we're not gonna land safely, but we will technically have reached the moon.
If we were really smart, we would have put one of those little antennas on here, so as he was hurtling down, he could have just rapidly sent all the science back. That would have been quite useful.
19 minutes till I have to make the manoeuvre. After 59 seconds, so I want to start manoeuvre at around 30 seconds before we hit the point. I'm gonna warp time so we get there a little quicker.
You know, Jeb seems to have developed quite a sort of a cult badass kind of hero worshipping kind of status amongst the KSP community. I shudder to think if anybody kind of sees this, the kind of abuse we'll get for just hurling Jebediah into the fucking moon and just kind of leaving it there, frankly.
Yeah, to be honest, the apoapsis is falling rapidly. We're currently at... Oh no, we're going back up again. I thought we were gonna hit the shit.
No, we're back in orbit. There's the music again.
Right, because we got close to the atmosphere and it dropped the apoapsis, this manoeuvre node's got to be off now. So I'll quickly lay another one down.
And then you'll set the manoeuvre node.
Right, that's a crash course to the moon. Because there you see the little
the
circular.
escapes on the dark side.
Yes, there's a periapsis, but there's no proapsis. I forget. Prolapsis. There's no prolapses. Periapsis. Apoapsis. Not prolapse.
There's gonna be some prolapse though when providing this works. Serious fucking prolapse is gonna be happening.
Yeah, when Jeremiah sees himself hurtling towards the moon.
You even got his net. He's Jebediah.
Whatever.
Not Jeremiah. That was the bullfrog with a mighty fine wine.
He did, yeah. Joy of the world and all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we're above, I can speed time up a little bit more. Once we reach about a minute, I'll frantically dial it back and then get ready for the burn. Ooh, I'm excited.
Jebediah's kind of he was just waving his hand there, kind of bring it!
Bring it.
It's just a fucking massive rock in space.
Okay, we'll be starting our burn in 32 seconds.
Right,
ready for
what
this?
can we do? We'll just sing a song, do a little dance while we wait.
And then for the remainder of the video, I'm going to leave it in real time as he moves towards the moon. So it should take around about 16 hours. See, if you were playing the normal game, I'm always tempted to fast forward, but what you really could do is set a few more flights going while you're actually waiting.
Yeah. That would get very confusing, I think, for the pair very quickly.
It would be, I suppose, but 4, 3, 2, 1.
Burn like
Full
a bitch.
thrust. 56 seconds. I'm going to switch to the map so I can watch the actual expanding orbit there. 45 seconds to burn. Make sure I keep it straight on the blue, no variations, and I want to cut out the engines. Not necessarily on 0, because there's always a bit of to and fro and a bit of give and take from the human error, but I want to make sure that it's roughly in line with this line. So this is my projected, and I want the actual to be exactly the same. I can't help but think that hurtling straight into the moon probably isn't the best way to get into a successful landing, because it does mean we're going to be coming at it pretty damn fast. I mean, we're currently
going
going
fuel to kind of slow down here, let's be honest.
We're currently going nearly 3 kilometers a second. 4,
Whoa.
3, 2, 1, but a little bit longer, and there we go. We are going to smash straight into the moon. How much fuel have we got? Fuck all. Okay, there's two choices for Jebediah now. We can either crash directly into the moon, or we can increase the thrust a little bit to loop around the moon, and we'll probably get caught in its orbit, and it'll bring us in an infinite and incredibly wide loop around Kerbal for all time. Now I think crashing into the moon is probably a kinder fate than an eternity in space.
This is true, but what I'm thinking is that if we do that, we can get wicked shit hot at the game, and then we can try and work out some sort of rescue mission where we go and fly kind of on that orbit, and then we make some sort of interception with him, and then he does a little EVA jump onto some sort of rescue plane.
That's
thing.
crazy talk.
I've seen it done.
That's crazy talk.
It sets up a really good counterpoint.
I kind of like it, but on the other hand, I see that as a failure. At least it's a half success. I'll...
Just out of interest.
Hang on. Where the hell have I put my manoeuvre node? I don't want a manoeuvre node there. That's no bloody good to me. I'll see your theory. I'll see how much thrust it would take us to get back into an orbit. Yeah, none from that side. Oh, hang on. Are we missing the moon entirely? See, I thought we were smashing into it there, but is that actually where it's going to be? I thought that's where it was at Moon Escape.
Well, you've totally lost me now. But personally, I'm thinking, well, all we're going to end up...
Yeah, we're going to miss it by a country mile. I've come out way too far. You have to highlight the encounter, and then the encounter shows you where the moon's going to be at that point.
So we've even failed at failing.
So what we're doing at the moment is...
hurtling off into space.
Yeah, hurtling off into the cold, cold darkness of space.
Might pick up an orbit somewhere else, though. That would be pretty sweet.
It's an infinitesimally small possibility that we will accidentally just drop into an orbit around another planet. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to use the tiniest last bit of the fuel to try and not die.
Now you've changed your tune.
Well, we'll die, but, you know, die a hero.
Why is it red?
Why is that an estimated burn of nothing?
Maybe it's just saying we haven't got fuel to do that.
You know what, I think the best thing I can do is just turn apoapsis and hit it as hard as I can.
Well, I think you're confusing your terms here. Do you mean if we go retrograde?
Turn retrograde.
Right, okay.
We're going to turn prolapse. And we're just going to see what the hell this does.
Right, well...
we're in orbit.
That was pretty good going. For a complete Hail Mary, I think that's actually turned out alright. There we go. See, we knew what we were doing all along. It was just suspending disbelief for the purposes of the video.
Okay, we're in orbit at 366,000 kilometers. One day.
What's it like at the other side, though? Because that's 41 million.
41.5 million.
It's not bad.
Oh, sorry, that's 366 kilometers. And, yeah, 41 million meters.
Well, I mean, we're going to wait until we get into orbit and then we'll kind of wrap things up then? Wait until we hit that orbit?
Well, he is going to have a Mun encounter.
Oh, we'll get to see it at least. There we go. That's a good way to end things.
That's a good way to end it. And we'll be able to get some research data, which we won't be able to transmit back to Earth.
But we will get it back when we save Jebediah.
Which we will do.
Which we will do. If we will. We'll not even put doubt into our own minds right at this very point in time. We'll work that out and we'll get them sorted.
Okay.
Right.
Now officially in contact with the moon.
Right, let's have a look. See if we can scroll down. How close did we get? Oh, there it is. There
it is.
Hey. We can see the moon. We're close enough that we've seen a couple of craters and dimples on it. Looks a bit like a grey-orange.
We shall observe the mystery goo. 30 science if we can get that back.
Well, there we go.
We'll do a crew report. 15 science. Let's do... Oop, that's a internal vehicle view. Let's do an EVA. Before I do an EVA, I want to work out where the door is.
There we are.
EVA report.
What's he got to say?
24 science. And back in you get Jebediah. So Jebediah is currently shooting off that way, but the
sphere of influence.
Yeah, the sphere of influence of the moon is going to drag him here. Let's just make sure that definitely happens. And there we go. We are officially in orbit. around the planet Kerbal, and the closest we will get to it is 362 kilometres.
And so I suppose with that then we'll start bringing it close to the video. So if you've enjoyed the video, please drop a like or a comment, or if you'd be so kind as to give us a subscription to encourage me to make a few more videos. I mean, to be honest, it's going to happen anyway, but it would be nice if you showed your appreciation by dropping some positivity in our direction.
Yeah.
And so I suppose we will catch you when we see you next.
Yeah, catch you next time. Don't forget to check out the Zomboid vids.
Yeah, there we go.
Probably a little bit more going on in the Zomboid vids than the Kerbal vids, but please feel free to tune in next time. We've got the basics of rocket design, maybe down a little bit better. We've got a craft that can get us to the moon, but not back.
Yep.
So we'll be keeping the design of the Ewok loves ass mark quotation mark for next time, adapting it. Hopefully, you never know, next time we might actually make it.
Might be the time. And with that, we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.
Thanks everyone, goodbye.